So many words on my lips, yet no sound comes out. Watching me swing in my hips, and you have no doubt. People will talk just to talk and create a sound. We've got to listen and speak when there's change about. Please tell me you've got feelings. Don't just grind with my mind and my hips at the end of this story. That's it.
Writing for me is a spiritual practice. I've been writing for as long as I can remember. I have poems that I wrote when I was in first grade. So I guess since I could actually write, I've been, composing them in lines, and the quality of them probably didn't improve much until I was like 27, 28 when I started thinking of myself as a poet and reading other poetry.
I started writing, we had a poetry unit when I was in 6th grade, and my teacher said, "Hey, you're good at that." And I thought, I'm good at that. And so I kept, during poetry units, I'd be super excited because I was like, somebody said I'm good at this. And so during poetry, I'd keep writing, and then I remember freshman year of high school, things were rough, puberty and social stuff and the adolescent mind. And so I looked through my old notebooks and I was like, wow, I've always been a poet. But also, it's not just how long you've been writing, I feel like it's also how long you've been reading is what I've noticed with pretty good poets is they read other poets or just read in general. And that's been my whole life because my parents encouraged that.
I've always loved to read and loved to find out new things from reading. And my mom encouraged that heavily. I've said many times, growing up, the answer to every question was, let's go to the library, and we did that. That was a legitimate thing we did. When I was 9, I read Slaughterhouse-Five by Kurt Vonnegut in an afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon. And as soon as I finished the book, I put it away. I sat there for like 5 minutes. I remember staring and thinking about war and all of these crazy things for a 9-year-old to think about. And I got up and I walked in and I looked at my mom. I said, "I'm a writer." She's like, "That's great. Can you be a doctor too?"
I've been writing since I was in 4th grade. I was really into writing stories, and I would crawl up my trees with my journal and write my stories, and it's amazing I never fell down the tree.
I had always read books about, that contained poetry and was really captivated by poetry. It was a teacher who read a poem that I wrote. It was about the flooding that happened in the South. And these people were, poverty-stricken and black, and they didn't do anything wrong, but they didn't get the help that they needed. And so I wrote about that, about a girl drowning and what that would have been like for her, just as the water is rising, And then the teacher really loved it, and so she wanted to feature it in a magazine, and I was like, well, this poetry thing can be powerful. All I did was take a time to feel something that somebody else was going through and put it in my own words maybe, and I was like, okay, this is beautiful because this person's story kind of lives on through my words and can affect people, so it really hit me. And I think that's when I started noticing that poetry had a powerful place, not in just my life but in society, what it could do and how it could impassion people.
I've been writing for at least 15 years seriously. I've had a passion for public speaking for as long as I can remember. My father was a preacher and my mother is a home health nurse, and so both of them have shown me and convinced me how valuable that can be for getting important stories, important information out to people in a way that feels meaningful, that feels accessible to them.
So, tell me a story. Go ahead and embellish. There's no such things as lies when truth is only what you know. Exaggerate. Add a moral. Let it be for posterity. Let it show that we have greater imagination and better character than what any propaganda or history book can show us to be. Tell me a story.
Get it.
And I'll tell you part of mine. My grandmother didn't like the idea of growing old, So she told me stories. And here I am, willing to move mountains, to count my reasons, to speak volumes. Will you speak volumes with me? So that we may remember ourselves in beautiful memory and write the gospel of our lives. Because this moment, right now, I am feeling so ordinarily glorious. Thank you.
To touch a soul in this world, in our words. It's in our heart. It's in our soul. Our words take us there. Words. It's in our heart. It's in our soul.
This is one of my favorite people that have ever lived. This is definitely my favorite poet that has ever written a word. Please welcome with everything you have, Beau Williams.
I have introduced Beau Williams on stage more than I have introduced any other human being, and I have enjoyed each and every single time.
If motivation is to join me on the sesh, may it arrive as sopping bait. May it be draped in the 3 sheets that the wind takes for its own. May it kick the loo door down to watch me knocked upon the throne. May it grab me by the ears, stare into my face and yell, is your blood not filled with ink, man? Is your chest not filled with hearts? May my spirit be as saved as this bar stool. May this bar stool grow a lighthouse from its back, steal the breath from your lungs, feed it back to you in beams. Let that which needs to find me do so when it must. May I recognize the sails before it passes into dusk.
He is my favorite writer, bar none. Every time he sends me a poem, it just murders my soul. He is the best writer I have ever read.
I am the man with 2 hearts. I am numb to the pain of arrows, of the clever tongue's slick promise. My left heart eats them whole. She never chokes on the bones. My right heart catches kisses. My right heart has a clotter ring. My right heart has a full belly in an attic where he grows dreams. My left heart has a collapsed lung. My left heart's right eye swole shut. My left heart has a solid spirit and a shattered jaw, even still, in the twisted wrench of every midnight storm. Amidst every godless thunderclap, she will rock, she will sing that shaken child back to sleep.
Tupac. He was a revolutionary, somebody who used his life experience and his passion for his people to find a way to alleviate his pain through writing, and in turn affected a lot of other people in the community. So, and it also really made me realize that, like, the basis of hip hop is poetry.
Mm-hmm. We take time like they take the rhymes, like they trying to hit us with them cracks and take the spine, like it's like I won't sit back and won't recline, like it's insane in the main, or shall I say the mind.
Because it's assumed sometimes that black people is dumb, so we try to use these rhymes to establish our intelligence, which is heaven sent, and I thank God for it, because my friend and I both are possessed with eloquence now.
The eloquence of our reverence comes through, and we don't give a about that president. We chilling in this residence where they steadily lie to us. They don't want to abide to us. They just trying to motherfucking buy us.
Buy us or bind us up as if our time is up, but unlike a clock, they wind us up and think that we're not gonna come unlasting, using our hands to reach out to people and wrap them up in an orderly fashion.
An orderly fashion. They try to put us in boxes, and they want to use phrases like closed caption, or put us in this shit, fold us up neatly like we was napkins. I'm out here, sergeant and the captain.
With no guns, yet we insist that we do trigger, because I'm trying to establish we are new niggas. That means we're deeper than anything that you thought before, because more than an encore, we're trying to bring the art of war some peace.
Yeah.
The art of war and peace. Not the art of war where our people's on the streets deceased. They want to lay us down to the belly of the beast. Lock us down, eat us up like we was the feast.
But opposed to that, we would just rather kick everything we've got to do, and we are posted up like you throw an attack into the wall because we try to paint a picture with thousands of words that we use because we ain't afraid of scripture. But
we ain't afraid of scripture, and we don't raise the hand like, excuse me, mister. F that shit, I'm pissed off. Or shall I say I'm pissed off? That's why I got to get my motherfucking mist off or get my mind off.
Because we try everything that we can do, but everyone realizes we die off at a rate that's a little high, y'all. And so we say hi and goodbye and try to be law-abiding citizens, but we find all more than problems.
We find more than problems. We go around, we try to solve them like revolvers, playing Russian roulette. I don't even know, I used to sling them cracks up on the project steps. Now I'm out here just trying to give it all with my breath.
And so the story ends, and I'm still a man writing songs about his friends and characters I never knew to begin with. And this is how you kill them.
I've written poems that years later I've revisited, and I've found just wisdom there that I didn't know I had. I was writing about things that I wasn't fully able to put into words in my own mind, and afterwards just clarity in aspects of my life that I wasn't expecting. So there's a magic to it.
Have you ever gotten multiple thoughts all at once about all the times you said the wrong thing to the person who needed the right one most? You tried so hard to get them out of that dark, slimy, moss-covered well and through a rope that snapped half of its way up. Have you ever thought about why you said the wrong thing? I mean, autism. You're different than anyone and everyone, but still you need to function better. Not through words, but small actions and implications that, for all you know, you could be completely misreading again. Have you ever looked at your quivering palm and then glanced at the greasy kitchen stove and thought, first, you haven't cleaned it yet, lazy f***. Second, the pots, pans, crumbs, spices are all being carried away by little bodybuilder social insects into your apartment walls. 3, I need to flood them, drown them in Windex to get my damn deposit from my rental company. 4, but you're a damn vegetarian. What did your mom teach you about killing animals? 5, well, every person's killed animals. 6, I could burn this all away. I could turn my hand into charred, grisly flesh and get the damn thing to stay still for once. Stillness. Silent stillness can be such a savior sometimes, but it can be so gnawing, chewing on your nerves like gum, and it has the filthiest black and yellow teeth. No, I'm not gonna let it swallow it, damn it, no. The insecurity, I'm building a better lock. I'm gonna erect the greatest, holiest temple around, and I'm gonna steal the damn statuette from the Self-Improvement Awards, wave it brazenly in their goddamn faces, no. I didn't need to take a hammer to myself. I didn't need fixing. All this time, all I needed was a clean mirror.
I really tried to write something warm and fuzzy and lighthearted, and you know what? I just couldn't do it. So instead I wrote about a really pivotal moment I had at the beach a couple weeks ago where my past, present, and future met, and I really thought about this theme of connection versus disconnection. So I'm so happy that other people feel the same vibe going on these days. So thank you, everyone else. So this poem is called Vacancy. Wet toes in sand, cold waves wrap around my ankles to say hello again. I hold my hands in prayer and contemplate how many other lost souls are paying homage to the ocean somewhere. As the sun breaks open millions of white crystal pieces on the surface of the horizon, I don't mind being blinded by it today. Alone, searching for the solution, and it hits me. The smell of testosterone marinating on your plaid shirt. Our waters combined into a seasick paradise of lust and luck. The waves no longer confined to my feet. Heat mixed with hormones makes steam. This dream of diamonds and your laughter. Never was there ever a bubble this big that's about to bust. Living life on Pluto, an outlier always on the cusp. I contemplate how long it would take anyone to notice if I sink to the bottom, to the beginning of the causes and conditions. The wind reminds me I still have a body, even if I don't claim it. The trail of broken seashells tell me I can only hide out for so long before I'm cracked up again and follow the scent home to finally mend.
This is called Welcome to Hell. I lay down, take a breath. Another hungover Monday. Maybe someday I'll stop doing this shit. But for now, I really can't quit. I'm high and it's time to revisit a dark place. I lost sight of my future. I lost many of my friends. A constant fight in my head. I lost sight of the lovely life that I led. Stayed in bed for days on end, finding ways just to feel something. Partied for days, went down a bin, looking for ways to numb everything. I couldn't understand everything at the palm of my hands, yet there I sat, dripping in my own blood, flesh torn at my own hands. I was taken away, all my fears no longer kept at bay. I sway in the wind, watching the trees bend, wondering if I'll ever see it again. West Hills Hospital. I thought I had it all. My friends, my school, my life. This was merely the beginning of my strife. West Hills Hospital. Took a pill, got ill, took a fall, wanted to say f*** it all. Force-fed, forced to take meds, that is the life I led. The first night I laid in that hard bed alone, staring at those white walls, forgetting that I could fight at all. A girl walked in, one look in her eyes, she'd seen far too many dark skies, so young, already said so many goodbyes. We talked in as I turned out the light, thinking that was the end of my fight. With a sick smile, I simply said, welcome to hell. I didn't know that was the first of 4 stays at West Hills Hospital. I didn't know what it truly meant to have lost it all. I didn't know years later I'd be studying business, talking about this. I wish this was all fiction. Yet here I am, still living life as a walking contradiction.
Keep it going for Clarissa.
Nick Fox, who is still one of my editors, took him a draft of a poem and he circled one line, crossed the rest of it out, and he was like, the f***? And he said, that's the right line. So try again. I was pissed. I went back to the hotel room. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna write it exactly the same way as it was. That way I can perform this. As I was writing it, I was like, what did I say there? Oh, I remember, yeah. So I finished that, I took it back to him. Like 2 hours later, I took it back to him. He saw me in the line, he like lit up like no one else had come back, you know? Made me feel good. So I showed it to him, he circled a bunch of it, and he was like, there you go, keep going. The 4th time I came back, I brought it to him. And he said, man, if you do this in front of a crowd and you know, you have it down, you'll get good scores. I was like, yes. He's like, is that all you want? Oh, no, I want to write a good poem. He was like, I'll give it another shot. I went back and I edited it one more time. When I came back, he said, it's not bad. I thought I was gonna jump out of my skin. I was like, yeah!
I used to be younger.
Back then I died a lot. Now I fear it less. Death. I'm more conscious of my actions. I don't sniff fairy dust anymore. My Peter Pan past left me more Captain Hook these days. I chase monsters. Clocks scare me. I'm told I forget how easy it is to fly. I forgot that being stuck was about being patient. Breathing. That panic and frantic movement only get you more stuck. I used to be younger. Back then I did all the drugs I could find and tried to kill myself a large family of times. It was difficult to find the time to do both of those things. I managed to find the time to do both of those things and walk more than half of the continent. I wish I could remember more of it, but my memory's a trailer park I know I should stop writing about. This morning I put too much sugar in my coffin. These bones shake. When my phone vibrates, I know it will be one of a very few people. When it isn't you, it's a swollen fist. When it's a swollen fist, your eyes soften. Thank you for having soft eyes. Teach me about trees. How and why they grow. Show me where they're trying to get. Show me the way trees move. Tell me the moment you stopped walking over subway grates. I know you say you do it because you're afraid of other people's mistakes. I stomp on subway grates and manhole covers and street doors when we're together, mostly because I like f***ing with you, but the real reason I do it is because when I'm alone, I walk around them too. I'm too afraid to be brave without an audience. I guess it makes sense that I'm a performer and pour my blood onto strangers and call it entertainment. Everyone wants to see bravery and blood on display. Some are just more violent about it than others. I used to be younger. Back then, I died a lot. This gave me runaway issues, forced me to worship strange gods. These gods tell me I'm not worthy, that I don't matter to anyone enough to stay anywhere too long. These gods tell me that no one could love me. These gods tell me that love and pity are so similar they fool even the brightest minds. Has me cry and pray on my knees most mornings just to deal with the day's current failed try. Has me cry and pray on my knees every night just to deal with the day's current failed try. I used to be younger. Back then I just died whenever the thick graying sky pulled in too close for me to see my way out. Cut ties with moments and memories and people and people and people and people so I would feel less like a burden. I don't feel like a burden here. In these words, I feel useful. I like feeling useful. I feel brave. I like feeling brave, even if it's just for an audience. I feel young. I like feeling young. I'm too old to die anymore.
I once believed there was no craft to creating a life. That rather than plan the future, it was better to wake each morning and follow the sun. Step up to the crossroads and let your feet carry you in the direction of the wind. That love could be found in a lingering look at the bus stop, a night of sweaty dancing, or the intention of a poem. I once believed a poem should be scribbled onto a napkin in a manic passion of inspiration and kept just as it was written to retain its authenticity, its magic, its spark, as if there was beauty in the stagnation.
Poetry, it can't be put in a box. It's in so many things. It's in music. It's in, you could make poetry about these paintings around us, you know. We could make poetry about the feelings we're feeling in this room, and then we could take those words that were really based on a feeling and even put music behind it, and then you have a song.
I work all day and I study all night, wanna get loose and I feel alright. System got my daily life caught in a grind, too many worries causing static in my mind. Trying to be in the here and now, keep my head up and not be low brow. I'm facing future, feeling frozen, stuck in a rut. I wanna feel the drum and bass and do a strut. Somehow, I wanna feel good. I said, somehow, I got to feel good.
Being in a room with that many people, all being willing to expose themselves to the worst thing that's ever happened to them, is incredibly therapeutic as a community and as an individual. There's no other way to explain it. It's best for everyone to be honest, and there's no better place to be honest than in poetry.
Now we're aware of the goodness we're seeing, and we feel good. We feel good. Rain a blessing of love on our beat. Open our third eye to things unseen. Now we're aware of the goodness we're seeing, and we feel good. We feel good.